Morning all. Apologies for this looking like a kidnappy type video. You know, no one's going to be paying any amount of money for my safe return, and there's going to be a disappointed kidnapper if that was the case. Just me today, so just this ugly mug, unfortunately, so apologies for that. You've probably seen from the title or the thumbnail or whatever it is I end up putting onto it that today's video should be a super short one. It's just going to be about fire, and specifically like what we've got as a fire kit. There's a million methods, a million different ways of doing it, and there's probably a billion videos on YouTube for more specific, more detailed, probably got better information than what I've got. But if you're here and you're staying here, thanks for joining me, and yeah, we'll get into it. To keep it all in, I've repurposed one of these weird sheen, I don't know how you say it, bags everybody seems to be using. I mean, it seems a bit overkill, like every item would come in one of these bags, but cover up the holes. It's it's fairly waterproof. I mean, I won't be going rafting with it or anything, but it's cool. It is. First thing I've got is kind of threefold with this particular one. Lighter. Everybody should have a lighter. I know there's like purists or whatever, or like, no, you should be able to start a fire with a stick and blow on it. I don't know, it's whatever. If you've got a lighter, use a lighter. I mean, this one, I've got it wrapped in duct tape, but I'll get to that in a minute. And it's only a cheap one, but it also comes with these little LED light on it. It's not amazing or anything, but in the dark, trying to look actually in the bag at stuff, it's better than trying to light a light inside the bag. But yeah. Lighter. The duct tape, everybody probably knows this already, but it burns well. It burns slow, longer burning. So if I was to like pull some of this off here, because it's all in strips, like little bits, pull some of it off, ball it up, light it, it'll burn just a little bit longer, which will give you a little bit more time for whatever, kindling and bits of wood and whatever to catch underneath it. So so this will be underneath. Just gives you that extra few seconds, particularly if it's a bit windy or whatever your lighting's not taking straight away. But anyway, yeah, that's one and kind of two. Next one, also wrapped in duct tape. Everything pretty much is. If it's not wrapped in paracord, it's wrapped in duct tape. Hand sanitizer. Particularly over the past couple of years, it's everywhere now. Multitude of uses, not just as an accelerant, which is what today's purpose is, but also perfect, absolutely perfect, for finding small cuts on your hand that you didn't know you had. That's what that's for. A cheap penknife. Nothing special, no, it's got, bottle openers and can openers and, or whatever on it. But mainly because you can never have too many knives, and even though it's a cheap one, particularly for the duct tape, or, you just want to get some shavings off and you don't want to like mess around with your proper camping knife, I would, recommend having just a random one of these. And it came with a cool little pouch anyway, so, whatever. Plus, if you lose it, whatever, it was a couple of quid, I guess. But yeah, penknife. This one, wood wool. It's you can get it from any cheap place, pound land, pound shop, whatever it is, Dollar Tree over, in America and whatnot. It is what it is. It's literally just already pre-shredded wool, slightly waxy. Over here in particular, everything's usually wet 99% of the time because it rains 99.9% of the time. So it's always handy to have something just to get you started before you start banging, whatever you've collected from around you before you start putting all that on. Might be a bit of a cheat, I don't know, but I always try and make sure I've got something to burn that might burn a little bit better. And it does burn well. Once it starts to take it, it actually burns long. It don't just disappear kind of thing. Yeah, wood wool. Similar principle to the wood wool is cotton balls, just cheap random cotton balls, already dry, burns a lot quicker than obviously the wood wool would, whatever. But yeah, you know, pull it apart, light it up. It'll light, but it'll burn quick. So, you know, it's always best if you're going to use anything like that to on another lighter as well. Multiple lighters and more duct tape, obviously. Yeah, if you've got normal cotton wool, fine, cool, that'll work. If you can't find the wood wool, okay. That also does bring me on to the next one, which is still cotton balls, whatever, but these ones are soaked in Vaseline, because even though normal cotton balls, once shredded, they will take a spark, they will light, it's not an issue, but these ones, once you pull them apart and then spark them, they'll burn just a little bit longer. You know, it's Vaseline, it's it just burns slower. It's petroleum jelly, so anything EM, it'll burn longer. So particularly if it's windy, or you know, you're trying to get more stuff on it and you ain't got 4 hands to do it, then you know, it's ideal. Yeah. The next one, which I ain't got with me, is a ferrous rod. You've seen them, you know, they're cool, you know, they create sparks and whatnot. I've got mine on like a rope, so I don't keep it with a kit, I keep it on me. But obviously I ain't got it on me right now, because like a dumbass I took it off and put it down somewhere and I forgot where I've put it. So I'm sure probably by the next camping trip I'll either just get back from it, get home, then find it, or I won't find it all, I'll just have to get another one before I go. But yeah, again, if I was to lose it while I was out, lighters. I've got another one on like a paracord bracelet with a compass and whatnot on it. It's just a cheap one, but again, it creates a spark. It'll do the job. It'll light the fire, and that's all you need really. You just this last one, and again, like I said, there's so many more. You'll find other videos that I've got. You know, oh, we do this and we do that, and there's this and there's that, and you might find one out of mine that might be useful. You might find one out of someone else's that might be useful. You might, you know, you'll find your way as you go, particularly if you're starting, or just starting out rather, like we kind of are. We know little tiny bits and bobs from this and that, and it's all trial and error. You know, some things will work, some things won't work as well as something else. It all depends on the conditions. If it's absolutely battering it down, then you know, you ain't having a fire anyway, to be fair. Like, you know, some people might just swear by, oh, we're only having, you know, stove gas bottles and whatnot. Cool, you know, we'll take that with us anyway, regardless. But, you know, Taylor being a little pyro, he wants fire all over the place. So, yeah, we'll obviously be doing that. But yeah, this last one, I don't even know if it's a thing, really, more than out, but a sharpener. Just a random cheap sharpener. I do recommend the ones that you can get that are basically 2, because obviously no twigs are the same size, so you know you might not get them all that'll fit that one. There might be that one. You might have to like jam them in a little bit. You can use your knife, obviously, you know, but I'd find as you're trying to cut shavings off, they're flying all over the place, and you look like Edward Scissorhands cutting hair with it everywhere. But yeah, a sharpener, it'll obviously sharpen and create little shavings ready for to go on top of your little pile of whatever. That being said, I've got a cheaper one, but you can find them as well. I've got these little containers with them, so just literally, I do like that sound. It's overkill. You know, you don't. Most people probably turn around and go, "What are you taking a sharpener for? You're doing homework while you're out." You know, whatever. But and if you're ever against little vampires as well, you can stab them. But no. So little shavings, and because it's got the little container with it, again, if it's really windy, or you know, if you're doing it in your tent, or you know, under your canvas and whatnot, anywhere, it's not going everywhere. You're not going to end up with like splinters stuck in your ass in the middle of the night, or you know, anything else. And you can pre-do it if you really want. I mean, like if you're sat having a coffee and you're bored, Like literally, just pick up a random twig like I did. I mean, this is just literally from the garden, like whatever, and just be doing that while you're waiting for your water to boil, which you should have already had some if you're boiling water with fire. But you know, if you're using a stove and whatnot, cool. Just whatever. Side note on the little tub sharpener thing as well. If you get the real cheap ones, the lid, the sharpener itself, I'll use the metal one because that's already obviously not attached to anything. It's only a bit of cheap glue holding it in. So if you're pushing stuff into it while you're sharpening, this is taking too much pressure away, down rather. So you will end up pushing it into it, and you'll just end up with sharpener less. So what I would recommend is either put some glue around the edge on the inside of the, so basically around that bit while it's already attached to the lid, or snap it off yourself to start with and re-glue it with better super glue. That's what I ended up having to do. Like the first time I used it, I basically just put too much pressure and was like, snap. So yeah, side note. Or just take one of these little metal one. I'd keep it in something though, so if you've got your little tub of whatever, I'd keep it in there. Because in a big bag itself, you know, you're fumbling around trying to find it, and if you ain't got a cold little light on your thing, then you're not finding it. So yeah, that's it. That's basically it for the day. I'm hoping that you found something maybe useful or whatever. Again, apologies that it's just this ugly face. I think the next video that should be out, it should be both me and Taylor, so you get double the ugliness. Again, all this that I've just shown you, it's trial and error. Experiment, play with fire. No, kids, don't play with fire. Whatever. If you're out camping, be careful. Don't burn down every forest that you come across. Don't light fires for no reason. You've got to put in a little bit of research behind it and whatnot, and find out where you are, where you're doing it. Some places, a fire would be ideal, but also overkill. Like, if you're just lighting fires for the sake of lighting fires, Taylor, then just don't. Use your gas stove. It's easier, it's quicker, less messing around. The whole leave no trace, it is important. If you've only got to look at what's happening on the news in a minute with the right to roam and whatnot, everybody's up in arms because they're saying you're not allowed to camp in certain areas now, more so because you're not really allowed to camp in any areas, to be fair. If they don't know you're there, then have you really ever been there? Like, it's it is what it is. It's an argument for someone a lot smarter than me to have. Or you could also always just go to Scotland and just camp there because they're cool. They don't mind. As long as you don't leave a crap hole everywhere. But yeah, just hopefully once I've edited this and I put it together, it's kind of short, straight to the point. Hopefully, I know I'm just waffling on and rambling and whatever. And again, the next video, I think the next video should be a wild camp that we've got. I know we keep saying about it, but between both our rotors and whatnot, we're Peter Pan was right. Adulting sucks. Just don't grow up. Just be a kid forever. Just do whatever. But yeah, hopefully the next one will be our wild camp, where you'll possibly see, if we do end up having a fire, you'll possibly see some of these methods be used. Whatever. Just if you like this, if you want to subscribe. Cole, if you've got any other better methods or anything that I've said today is like, well, that's clearly wrong. You should be doing this, or that's stupid, should be doing that. Maybe word it a little bit more polite, because I'm not going to take criticism well. I'll probably just crumble and delete YouTube. But yeah, just whatever. Open conversation. It's cool. After the past couple of videos, we've gained some more subscribers, and our little community has grown a bit more than that. And obviously, we're not setting the world on fire or anything, but it's appreciated, and it's cool. It's our own little group, all of us and you. And I know there's at least one person, if you're still subscribed, in Canada. That's like mind blowing to me that we're out and about just doing what we was doing anyway. Filmed it, and you seem to enjoy it. It was cool. So, you know, if you want to share it, subscribe, whatever. Maybe not the haunted church one. You don't have to like that one. Well, that's cool. That's fine. But yeah, that's it. So hope you're all cool. Hope everybody's having like a great day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. And on to the next.